If you want to grow on Instagram, then this video is for you. I took my Instagram from 0 to 33,000 in a period of less than 9 months. We've closed multiple deals from this as well. And honestly, you've probably heard every single cliche in the book. You don't need to have this massive audience. You just need a few people here and there. And honestly, this may sound good, but no one actually shows you how to actually get these people. No one really explains what to actually do when you have these handful of followers, no real pipeline, and a story view count that just looks like it belongs on a private account. This video is going to change that. I'm going to talk and show you the exact system that took me from knowing nothing about Columbus, Ohio to building a page that literally crossed 10 million views in the last 90 days, generated over 20 real leads and closed 2 deals, built a newsletter over 2,000 people and grew to 33,000 followers in under 9 months. And I'm actually using the exact same system in a complete different market, Tampa, and we just hit 5,000 followers under a month of real action. None of this is theory. None of this is accidental. Everything that I'm going to teach you is built from actually doing it myself. And look, my story is actually woven into this because when I moved to Columbus less than a year ago, I wasn't thinking about social media domination. My family had just been through a lot. My mom was hit by a car and shook our world. We're very spiritual people, and that moment forced us to ask real questions. We needed a change. We needed a healthier environment. We needed to be closer to people that we loved. And that decision, it took us to Columbus, Ohio, a place that I honestly had never studied, never researched, never imagined would become my home. I had nothing, no real sphere, no network, no deep childhood roots. Honestly, I learned everything from scratch. Honestly, there's 2 different doors that you can think about. There's authority or documentation. There's a lot of really cool people that do really well with documentation. People that talk about their stories of moving there, people that talked about all of these emotional things. And I understand it. And in fact, a lot of my coaching clients, they do the same thing. I've always been more of a type D personality. I'm really good when it comes to data. I'm really good when it comes to just sharing the numbers. That's the authoritarian type. Your content needs a couple of things: a clear hook, matching visuals, and a message that reflects your client's season of life, and also just what you're talking about. Like if I'm talking about maybe Andrew coming to Columbus, right? It would be really silly of me to just have a picture of Intel. You want to make sure that you actually have the content that matches the thing that you're talking about. If your hook says one thing and the visual shows something else, your retention will completely drop. Your message, it cannot be generic because no one's going to comment either. And if no one comments, your content isn't doing its job. Look, one of the main reasons that my Columbus page, it grew so exponentially fast is because we actually made content that people cared about. And honestly, here are the main things that you need to talk about. For us, one of the most important things was local breaking news. Anything that happened with Intel, and you should be able to see a visual here of the page and really everything that we're talking about here. But when we talked about Intel and we talked about those projects that were happening, it made people really understand, oh my gosh, this is what's happening with Columbus. Look, when I told the story of my family making that decision after what happened to my mom, people connected with that on a human level as well. This type of content actually builds trust really fast. Second thing that we talked about a lot was developments, not just what's happening today, but the future of Columbus and its past. One of the most honestly best performing videos that we have is when we're researching and talking about exactly how Columbus came to be and what happened to it to, well, make it the way that it is. People love that stuff, man. They love to hear about the past and also the future. When we talk about BRT lines and all these growth opportunities with the city, when we talk about the money and where that's going, when we talk about housing projects, people really care about all those things because, well, they're living here. And our content, contrary to popular belief, isn't just relocation focus. You need structure behind what you're talking about. You need strategic call to actions woven into your content. It can't be pitchy either, and it can't be desperate lines. And that leads us to the third piece of content that you need to talk about, which is neighborhoods. Look, if I'm highlighting a neighborhood, I often offer listings in that neighborhoods. If we're talking about relocating to those places, we're talking about guides, right? And I've really never seen anyone talk about this, especially on YouTube videos, but one of the most important things that we talk about is just comparing location from location. If I was coming here from California and I was choosing between X, Y, and Z, here's what I would want to know. Look, everyone that raises their hand on these things, you want to follow up with, not to pressure people, but to understand what's going on. What's your timeline, your budget? What are you trying to get away from? Honestly, what does your life look like after moving here? What things do you actually need to understand, and where are you in that journey? All conversion happens in conversation. And that's why my social media works. But combining with this, there's also 2 other things that people love. Number 1 is food and drinks. If you talk about new restaurants opening up, you talk about bars, you talk about all the shops, and not just talk about it, but actually go there and show it, people will thank you. Because number one, you're not just talking about it, you're actually showing it. But number two, they're living here. They're curious about all the things that are happening. And on top of those things, they're curious about the restaurants, the bars. Why would they be? Talk about the things that people care about. Value, value, value. Jab, 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 right hook. Gary Vee. The final thing that people talk about and want. Events. Yes, 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 yes. Weekends, events. What's happening in December? This video is literally being shot December 1st, and most of our content has been Christmas things that you need to understand, and people go crazy over it because the season's coming up. Someone literally commented, "Thank you so much for posting this," and I said, "You're welcome," because this is for you. Look, you need clarity with what you're posting, and you need clarity with exactly what you're talking about. You need to attract the right people. If you simply want to focus on just relocation, that's fine, but why not talk to the people that are living here? People, for example, like Brad Armstrong, Bill Olson, Byrne, Rick Lee, these guys do a fantastic job of encompassing everything that's happening in the society and the location. People like Jamie Conover, Shante Sachs, and Kim Caravan do an amazing, amazing job of just relocation content. Personally, I like kind of being in that juxtapositionary location, because I don't just want to talk about one thing, I want to have a contrast with something else. Look, if you want to build your Instagram to change your business, you need to start thinking like a local media company, not a salesperson. Everyone will tell you this, by the way. You need to document the city. You need to document the process and document the life that you have. It's not just about living in one location. It's not just about talking about one thing. You are a media company that happens to sell real estate. I didn't come up with that line, by the way. Ken Pozak did. And I'm sure you guys know Ken Pozak. If you don't know Ken Pozak, you're missing out. Dude's like wicked smart, but he wouldn't return my call. So, anyways, yeah. Look, look, the final thing that you have to add to all of these elements is real estate. We don't go heavy with this though. Like, for example, yesterday we posted a market update because it was it was November 30th. Look, very simple, like nothing complicated. It's just, here's the numbers. And if you want to go check out my page, you can. 33,000 followers, right there. You can see everything, right? So we say all of these things to say, it's incredible the opportunities that you can do. And honestly, if you talk about things, you showcase yourself and showcase the city, it shows, number one, you're a very human person. And number two, that you understand your shit. But combining with this as well, you need to make sure that you have the best call to actions, because attention without direction is just useless. Like, it doesn't make sense to have attention without direction. You need to make sure that you're cultivating something in which the audience knows exactly where to go. For us, it's very simple. Watch this, ready? Here's what I mean. Comment the word report if you want to learn every single thing that's happening in the city. Comment the word report if you want to learn every single insider scoop as to exactly where the best Christmas deals are happening. Comment the word report if you want to hear about more flights and everything that's opening up here. Comment the word report if you want the full menu for that new restaurant. Comment the word report if you want to see more job opportunities that Andrew is actually posting. You get my gist. I've done this a few times. But that's my thing. That's my slogan. Comment the word report if you want blank. And as always, it's Gagan, your favorite realtor, signing off. That's it. That's my line. Don't steal my line, please. But that is my line. And I can say that so effectively because I've said that probably close to 1,000 times now at this point. But you need to have something in which the audience knows where to go, because let's say you got 1 million views. Great, then what? Then what? Right? Algorithms change, email addresses don't, and we're going to talk about that. Listen, we're going to talk about email because that is where you make the money. And YouTube, we're going to talk about all those things. But you need to have an audience, and the audience needs to know where to go. Attention without direction is useless. There's a very simple format and thought for this. Does this help my ideal client understand something, feel informed, or supported? If the answer is no, why are we talking about it? If the answer is yes, post it. You know, one of the most important things that you need to understand is how to turn this into business, how to actually get people to raise their hand. People that are commenting for guides, people that are commenting for listings, voting on a poll about moving, sending DMs, saving a post, to watching stories, setting up ManyChat like we've got here. These are the people that are quietly signaling to you that they might need your help, and it's your job to convert them. Again, all conversion happens in conversation. How are you getting the conversation? Because media's job is to create that conversation. Your job is to convert that conversation. Real quick, my name is Gigantum Sina, and I built the Columbus Report from 0 to 33,000 followers in less than 10 months. As we're talking about building Instagram and building media, I understand it's complicated, it's nuanced, and honestly, it can be a lot frustrating. A lot frustrating. If you want our help to actually build this with you, I'm going to put my calendar link down below. Let's chat one-on-one, not with a virtual assistant, not with an ISA, not with a closer, with me. And let's talk specifically about what you need and figure out if we'd be a good fit together. Because I'd love the opportunity to help you grow in your market, no matter the size. I've been blessed and I've been really honored to be able to do all these things with amazing people. Let's make sure that we can do the same for you. So if we want to grow with all of these things and now understand how to actually get people to, well, say yes to buying with us, what do we do? There's also things that people are missing out on. A hand raiser isn't necessarily a lead, it's an open door. And if you walk through that door by reaching out with intention, not pressure, intention, some are gonna say yes. Look, it's not a matter of saying, hey, look, did you want this information? Great, when are you buying a house? It's a matter of, okay, great. You wanted this information, now why? What specifically has you wanting this information? What does your life look like? Look, you have to create and have content that people recognize you. The most important metric that we have with all of our coaching clients is we need someone to say, I've seen you on Instagram. I've seen you on social. That's working. Look, Instagram does one thing well. It rewards people with amazing videos. If your AVD and watch time is high, Instagram will push it out. It's that simple. When I started the Columbus Report, I was not motivated every day because family, stress, life, move, rebuilding, everything. It's a lot. But I knew who I was building for. I also knew what I cared about and what I wanted to know. Look, people in Columbus, well, they care a lot about specific things. Let me give you an example. Everyone loves OSU football. So when we talk about OSU football, we talk about, well, the records, we talk about what games are going on, all these things, people love it. People love to hear about travel. So when we talked about all the travel and all the new nonstop destinations, people loved it. People loved it when we did home tours. People loved it when we talked about places like Dublin, Powell, Hilliard, or Westerville. When I learned people wanted to understand future developments, I researched about it and I posted it. Every single time that I learned something new about people that were watching my page, it just made me better. Not just a better media person, but a better realtor. Like if you're doing all this research constantly, think about how good you get as an agent. You get really good, dude, because you understand what's happening. You understand what the needs of people are. You understand what specifically you need. Look here's the people that suck at this. Here's the ones that are terrible. People that post randomly, people that stop for a week, people that start again, people that debate hooks, people that resist showing their faces, people that avoid connections, people that try to look perfect. I don't look perfect in most of my videos. In fact, I look really shitty in most of my videos. Even in this one, look, my hair looks terrible. I don't even think my turtleneck is like on correctly. But who cares? Look, stop trying to be perfect on camera. It's not gonna build trust. Repetition does, familiarity does. In fact, I'm gonna put a screenshot here so you can see this. This is from a 9-figure entrepreneur. A 9-figure entrepreneur. That's right. People like this reach out to me because I've been doing this for a year. I've posted over 600 times. That is what happens when you're building a connection. Look, it's not about selling something to someone. I'm sure I could have closed a lot more people. I'm sure I could have been more salesy, but I want to sleep at night. And look, when the moment does come where they decide to take action, you are the name that they remember because you didn't sell them, because you were just there. Everything that I'm talking about is about building trust. It's about building a connection. It's about building you and your city. Look, for me, it was about leaving my old environment. It was dealing with what happened to my family and trying to build something new in Columbus. Honestly, it became the emotional thread that held my content together. I talk a lot about the fact that I'm an immigrant. I talk a lot about the fact that I came to this country in 2008. I talk to you a lot about my journey from dropping out of college to getting into real estate. Because all those things make me who I am. And it also made my page grow really fucking fast. This is why people trust me. This is why I get leads without chasing leads, because I'm not pretending. I'm not pretending to be perfect. I'm not. And that transparency, it's something that algorithms can't fake. It's real connection. So let's talk about the long game. Let's talk about how to win forever. I'm going to teach you something very, very simple. I call it the loop. The loop is a methodology that we have built not only for ourselves, but our coaching clients, and it has made a lot of money for a lot of people. It is single-handedly the greatest strategy that you can associate with this. Every time you learn something new about the market, it becomes content. Every time that you experience something personally, it becomes content. Every time that you help someone, it becomes proof. Every time that you talk to a lead, it becomes content. Your Instagram is essentially your open house. On top of all these things, let's not just take the videos that you have and grow on Instagram. I've talked about virality. I literally showed you and talked to you about exactly what you need to post to grow. Let's say you do this 100 times. 100 times is the minimum, okay? And honestly, you can do this pretty easy in about 2 weeks, maybe 3. That's 5 posts a day, 5-10 minutes a post. It's an hour. What are you gonna do? You know? So here's the things that you need to understand. You need to anchor everything you post about around, honestly, what's in it for them. When I started the Columbus Report, I had no idea it's gonna explode like this. I had no idea I'd be covering development news, spotlighting local businesses, creating a newsletter, building out multiple markets, and turning it all into a real business. But looking back, it makes sense. People didn't just want information about a city, they wanted perspective, they wanted authenticity, they wanted someone who sees what they see and feels what they feel. So here's my promise to you. If you commit to the system that we're talking about, it's going to change your life. And honestly, if you commit to the loop, it's gonna make you more money than you've ever made. So what is the loop? The loop is a 4-part strategy that we use to make sure that our clients never forget us. It starts on Instagram, where we post a ton of content that works well. It grows very, very fast because we understand that volume is the one thing that separates us. Volume negates luck. Hermosi said that, I wish I did. We take that audience into our newsletter, Beehive. It's 2,500 people for free. And then we take that audience, and here's the secret. We premiere a YouTube video. And 5 minutes before the premiere, we send a newsletter out. The first link, you guessed it, is to the YouTube video. That way, YouTube says, oh my gosh, so many people are watching this guy. Essentially, the content that we're posting, again, has to do tremendously with developments, with projects, all of these fun things. But that's not just it. You're gonna talk about all these things, and then you're gonna send them to a newsletter. And the newsletter is going to accompany specifically a few things that, well, really blew up. Projects and videos that got over 100,000 views, maybe 50,000 views, or whatever metric that you have, whatever is your average view that you get, and got more than that. Those are projects that people want to talk about. Those are projects that people care about. Those are things that we're gonna post in the newsletter. And then on YouTube, it doesn't just have to be relocation content. It can actually be market updates. It can be very similar to the developments that you're talking about as well. In fact, I think a lot of people, they want to hear about developments. There's a guy named Byrne. He runs the San Diego Scoop. I'm gonna put his YouTube like right in one of these 2 locations. Dude got 1,000 followers in dude got 1,000 subscribers in like 2 months on YouTube. It took me a year to get 500. 2 months. Why? Because he's talking about developments. And my YouTube, I was talking about relocation. So we're actually building a separate horizontal, actually vertical to the business, which is just simply developments. Because people care a lot about their city. Let's say let's take you for example, okay? You're watching this from, say, Dallas, Texas. Okay, cool. What's the business plan for you? A few things. Number 1, what's important in Dallas? Number 2, where specifically do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about all of Dallas? Because all of Dallas is pretty big. Maybe you want to talk about North Dallas, McKinney, Frisco, Plano. Maybe you want to talk about South Dallas. Maybe you want to talk specifically about Fort Worth. We'll figure out all of these things together. We'll figure out what your client is actually looking for, whether it be rentals, whether it be high rises, whether it be developments, whether it be restaurants, all of these things. And then we're going to figure out what specifically you want. Because as much as clients get to interview you, you get to interview clients as well, right? Do you want to talk about restaurants? Do you want to actually go and just do home tours? Because Dallas has a ton of new construction. What does it look like for you? Figure that out. And then once we build that out, we're going to build out, again, that vertical in which it's just simply email. What does email look like? Well, it's going to be, hey, my name is blank. My first line in my email has always been, hey, it's Kagan. Yep, the only Kagan Timsine in the world. Statistically true. Check every day. That's important because people are thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, this guy is, well, he's the only something, right? It doesn't just have to be this. Like I got another buddy of mine. Hey, my name is Kim. That's right. The guy that covers everything. It's a great one-line zinger. Hey, my name is Kirsten. Yep. The same person that talked. What was her line again? I forgot. Hey, my name is Kirsten. Yep. The person that talks everything about Dallas or like Fort Worth, something like that. You get the idea. The point being, you got to have a zinger. You got to have a line that makes people remember who you are. And then you talk about the developments. And in the bottom, you talk about how those developments affect them. Is it just the fact that more traffic is going to happen? Is it that home prices and appreciation is going to happen? Is it, you know, one thing or another? What does that look like? You need to talk about those things. And then on YouTube, you can deep dive. Here's the idea behind all of this. On YouTube, someone's going to watch you average, if the video is good, which when we work together, your video will be good. For an average 5 minutes. On Instagram, they're watching you for 5 to 10 seconds. Imagine the trust, the connection, and honestly, the relationship that you build with that person. Like this, for example, if you've made it this far, you're probably in the 25 to 30th percentile. Very, very few make it to the end of the video. And if you're here, honestly, that's super sick. And I want to work with you. If you made it this far, I'll give you a discount on working together. Just book that call down below. We'll chat soon. That's how impressive this is. But at the same time, watching someone for 5 minutes is still very, very good. Build that with someone and then take that and just keep running with it. That's the loop. You can also add Facebook ads, meta ads if you want. You can run hundreds of different things. You can run retargeting ads directly on Instagram that specifically focuses on this and that. You can run retargeting ads against your Instagram audience as a whole that says, hey, look, if you've seen this in the third, this is what it looks like. You can then retarget that retargeted audience. There's thousands of sick ways to do it. And now ads, I mean, the only thing that you really need to worry about is creative. I mean, the ads are so good and so smart now at this point, you don't need to worry about anything else. Just worry about the creative. Yeah, that's cool. And that system, the loop, it makes people money. If you think I'm joking, look, 1 client, 2 clients, 3 clients, 4, 5, 6. We have a lot more. That's the best part about it. And that's exactly why I teach the system that I teach, because it doesn't rely on knowing a market inside out. It's built for people who are willing to learn their market and publicly document it in a way that builds trust faster than any postcard or any cold calling ever could. Okay, let's build a foundational truth that changes everything. On Instagram, you're not just simply a realtor. You are a local media brand that happens to sell real estate. I've said this line hundreds of times. Look, if you treat your page like a digital billboard, the only people who will follow you are other agents. If you treat your page like a place where people can understand their city, understand their options, and understand their fears, and understand their dreams, then your page becomes a magnet for your ideal client avatar. For example, for me, I post a lot about the news and business and all these things that are coming here. Because honestly, I love working with business owners. They just get it, right? Because we're business owners. So one of the most important things, especially when you are thinking about it from a business perspective, is anyone that can afford a commercial roof generally can afford a residential roof. So I speak a lot about that. People aren't coming on Instagram and looking for a realtor. They're looking to be informed, entertained, or understood. In real estate content, it only works when you speak directly to the season of life your ideal client is in. A lot of aspects to it as well, right? You got to think about the demographic. You have to think about exactly what niche that you want. You also have to think about where people are. Look, it's a mix of people understand that they're trying to leave behind something and honestly moving towards something. In Columbus, my ideal clients are 2 fronts. Number 1, people that are relocating or thinking about relocating here, some from out of states, some from more expensive parts of Ohio. Or number 2, business owners that understand what's happening here and that understands the power of all these things with media that exists. Look, they get it. People, they oftentimes want more space. They want to safer feelings. And honestly, for us and for business owners as a whole, they want, well, themselves to feel understood. They want someone to be able to be proud of putting out this shop or that shop, and someone like us exasperating that. And people that are relocating here, they love that stuff too. I mean, why wouldn't they? We're talking about businesses, we're talking about operations, we're talking about investments, all of these things here. These 2 things are not oppositional. You don't have to pick one or the other. They actually go hand in hand. And I think a lot of people misconstrue this idea. Look, people aren't just here because they want to feel safer, because they want better schools, because they want a different pace of life. All of this thing is important, People are here because they want someone who understands them and who understands the fear of making the wrong move. Look, when I first arrived in Columbus, I actually lived that exact season of life. I was learning about the city. I was still carrying all this emotional weight of everything that was happening with my family, and I was looking for grounding. I was looking for direction, and that's where my content actually started to connect. I wasn't just speaking in theory, I was speaking from the reality of what life actually looks like to make that move here. And also, I love talking about businesses. I love talking about opportunities. I love talking about all the new things that are happening here. All of these things you have to understand, because who is your avatar? Who is the person that actually understands you? You are the niche, my friend. And if you are the niche, you also need to put out content that as the niche, you would want to talk about, right? What is important to you? Because it's not just the fact that clients want to work with you. You have to determine whether you want to work with that client as well. Look, if you're starting from scratch, I'm gonna tell you this. You don't need to understand everything about your city. You just need to learn it publicly. You need to narrate your journey. You need to explain what you're observing. What surprised you, what confused you, what you wish someone had told you. That kind of content builds a deeper connection than anything that's just a talking head video and any listicle or just listing video. Let's talk about the lifeblood of social media success. Content. Content does not work because you're charismatic. Content doesn't work because you have a nice camera. Content works because you can grab attention in the first 3 seconds. People think value means tips, stats, market updates, spreadsheets. All of this is fine, but it's not just the core. The core is clarity. Giving someone clarity on a decision that they're struggling with, it's gonna help build trust. Let me talk to you about kind of how I did it. When I started my Columbus page, I didn't really know what kind of content would work, so I posted a lot. I've posted over 600 times on that page. Alex Hormozi says it best. Volume negates luck. Volume negates luck. I posted a lot. And because I posted a lot, I also now have these ideas and these notions of exactly what I should post, and I have the data to back up exactly what I need to talk about. It makes my life a lot easier. The agents who struggle on Instagram are usually the ones that are posting too little to ever get good at actually understanding what you need to do. Look, for the first couple of weeks, you need to post a crap ton. You need fast feedback loops. You need to see what hook actually gets watched and what visuals stop people, what stories blow people up, what neighborhood content spark comments, and the moments you find something that works, you do more of it. Look, I noticed for me, when I talked a lot, and I mean a lot, about Intel, about Andrea, about the developments and all these things that were coming here, people really cared about it. When people love development news, I talked about development. When I saw people deeply connecting with, honestly, my personal anecdotes, I talked more about that. Look, here's exactly how you want to figure out the hook. It's 3 different things. The hook is a visual hook, audio hook, and it's also a text hook. Make that primal. Like, make those the first things that you do. Have a headline that's clear. Have captions that are there, right? You want to have visuals that people can stop and say, this is something that I need to take a look at. Your content, it has to be clear. Are you informative? Are you directional? And then once you figure those things out, it solves a lot of the equation for you. Look, and if you're nervous that this isn't gonna work for you, this worked in this market, this market, this market, this market, this market, and this market. I have a feeling it's gonna work in your market as well. And again, if you're not 100% convinced or don't have the capital to invest, or even just thinking about joining Real altogether, look, watch the rest of my videos, man. Like, just watch everything that we're posting and implement. Once you implement, you're going to make money. And when we make money, we're gonna work together. I hope this was helpful. I really do. If you made it to the end, can you just comment the word popcorn down below so I know you made it to the end? I'm excited for this. I'm excited for you.